Let's talk about getting out of debt on a low income. For someone who used to be heavily in debt, I know that it can be quite challenging to come out of debt, but it is a necessity. The current economy is the main reason why many people are going to end up in so much debt, and we don't know if this is going to get better or not, and if it is, when is it going to get better. So one thing that people can start doing is to start getting out of debt as soon as possible. So like I said, it can be challenging, but it is not impossible. Today, I'm going to share some of the steps that you can take that I personally took while I was in debt to get myself out of there. So personally, I was not specifically on the low income range, but I just had so many debts that my salary seemed like nothing after paying off all my debt. And if you're also on your journey to financial independence, paying off debt is the hardest part and the most boring part, but it is crucial. The hardest part is to start. But once you've started, you will have the momentum and the motivation to continue doing it until the end. First thing that you want to do is to understand your debt. What I mean by this is to know exactly who you're owing, how much you're owing them, and what is the interest of that debt. Get your credit report, because your credit report will tell you exactly who you are owing. You can get a free one once every year by contacting TransUnion or Experian. They are legally required to give you a free credit report every single year. Then from there, you can contact those creditors and find out what's the interest, and you can also negotiate with them if you need to. But understanding and knowing exactly what your debt is super crucial. It's the first important part to come out of debt. So now you have a clear understanding of your debt. The next thing that you're going to do is make a budget. This is the part, that one part that a lot of people skip. However, the problem is that when you skip this part, then you don't really have a plan on how you are going to pay this debt. So when you have a budget, this can be the most simplest budget ever. I have a video that I would link of how I do my budget, so that you can, if it can also help you to do yours. A budget will help you to know your financial standing. Where are you standing financially? Are you somebody who's going deeper and deeper into debt, or are you someone who has extra money left that can be channeled in the right way? And when you're making a budget, make sure that you are flexible, because this is something that is not easy to do and it's not easy to stick to. So you just need to make sure that you need to make sure that you are flexible, so that whenever something doesn't go according to plan, you have something to fall back on. After you figured out your budget, then you will know. Now you will have to know which method are you using to pay off your debt. Is it a snowball method or an avalanche method? Whichever method that you use is okay. You just now need to discipline yourself and stick to it. So you are on low income, you don't have any extra money. The first thing that I would do is to try to make more money. There's a lot of ways that you can try to make more money. At the first sound of that, it's like it's impossible. How am I going to make more money? But if you're in a job, some of the ways that you can make more money is by asking for an increase. This does not always come to an approval, but if it does, then that increase that you get, you can then prioritize it with paying off your debt. And if, for example, your job can't give you an increase, then you need to start thinking out of the box. One thing that I realized is that we often don't realize the skills that we naturally have until we are required to use those skills. So if you have a hobby that you can monetize, go for it. Start monetizing it. People will pay. If they need you to do something for them, they will pay. Whether it is babysitting someone's child, or doing or cooking for someone, you need to start trying to finding these people that are willing to pay you to do these things for them. You can get a part-time job if that's an option for you. You can get a side hustle. There's a lot of videos on YouTube with ideas on how the type of side hustles that you can do. And you can also just start selling things that you are not using. As human beings, we'll always love to accumulate things, and we end up with so much things, whether clothes, kitchen utensils, or whatever, that we don't use. start finding ways on how you can sell them. And that 10 rand, 20 rand, or 30 rand might not seem a lot, but if you do this over a course of a year, you'll find that you would have sold a lot of stuff that you are not using. An extra 500 rand per year for me is a big deal. Don't sleep on all these side hustles that people are doing. Start doing your research, start learning on how you can monetize your hobbies and learn a new skill. And with new skills, I've done a video on skills that you shouldn't sleep on this year. With these skills, you can learn them off of YouTube, or you don't even have to, you don't need a university degree for you to learn these skills. You can learn them on the internet. Find a way for you to make extra money. There is some way, like somewhere, somehow, there will be a way for you to make money. You just have to find it. If you can't find a way to increase your income or to make more money, then unfortunately you will have to cut costs. This is not a fun one. Some of the few things that we had to cut off when we were paying off the debt was we had to downgrade our housing. So we lived in a 2-bedroom, and this was a hard decision for us to make, but because we were so focused on paying off our debt, we moved from a 2-bedroom to a bachelor. It took a lot of effort for us to make this decision, but we knew what we wanted, and we knew that we were doing this for our future, and this was not permanent. So we downsized. We moved from paying 10,000 rand in rent and utilities to paying just under 5,000, and that extra 5,000 made a huge difference on how much extra we could pay on our debt. So that was a huge one for us. But if you're a single person and you have a 2-bedroom apartment, or just a couple, then you can rent out the other bedroom and will move back in with your parent. And also the other way that you can cut costs is stop eating out. That's one of the ways people spend a lot of money, is by eating out. The money that you pay on Uber Eats and all those delivery fees and all that, they all accumulate. And another important thing that you need to do, and this one is a little bit challenging because you already don't have money, but you have to build an emergency fund. Why do you have to build an emergency fund? Is so that you do not end up in debt again. Imagine you are doing so well by paying off your debt, and then an emergency happens. Now you have to get more debt. That's like you've gone back to square one. So your emergency fund doesn't have to be like a huge amount of money. Just start somewhere. As hard as it can be, it is super important to have an emergency fund while you are paying off your debt. If you don't have, it's okay. Just keep on praying while you're paying off your debt that nothing happens that will be beyond your control. And yeah, that is hard for that, but with faith, anything is possible. So those are the things that I did while I was on my journey to paying off my debt. And like I said, I was not necessarily in the low income bracket, but I just had a lot of debt on my hand that my salary seemed like nothing when I was paying off my debt. So I hope this video does help a little bit in your journey if you are trying to pay off debt. And if it does, let me know in the comments, and let me know in the comments if you have any other tip that you can give, so that we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again in the next video. Bye.